Welcome to the 2013 MAAC Men's Basketball Championship presented by Pepsi Max. In our first semifinal, the Iona Gales take on the Niagara Purple Eagles. And there are 4 teams remaining still dreaming of cutting down the nets tomorrow night here in Springfield, Massachusetts. Our second semifinal later this afternoon will pit the 7th-seeded Fairfield Stags against the 6th-seeded Manhattan Jaspers. And welcome everybody to the Mass Mutual Center. Doug Sherman along with former Division I assistant coach Rob Kennedy. Our first semifinal, well, Rob, this should be a lot of fun.
Absolutely. If you want pace, you want flow, you want some points, these are the 2 teams in this league you want playing. The 2 best offensive teams going at it. We can only hope it was as good as the last time these 2 teams played, a thriller up in Western New York when Niagara pulled out an improbable 93-90 overtime win.
Okay, in our Holiday Inn one-on-one, we're talking about the 2 prolific backcourts we'll see here today.
And when you start with Iona, they're the highest scoring duo in college basketball. Momo Jones gets so much done at the rim, one of the best big guards in the NCAA. Sean Armand, he's a 3-point specialist, but a guy that can now keep you honest off the bounce. On the other side, Antoine Mason as well as Wanye Green, the best sophomore combination in the MAAC and one of the best in the country. Mason coming off a big game with 21 last time out, but it's Wanye Green, the first-team all-conference performer, along with Mason, that gets this Purple Eagle offense going.
Here's a look at our starting lineup brought to you by Franz. Iona with an 18-13 overall record, having won 3 in a row. They are among the nation's leaders in points per game at 82 per contest. A lot of fun to watch. Meanwhile, on the flip side for Niagara, the regular season champs in the Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference, Marvin Jordan moves into the starting lineup, replacing the injured freshman Tajir McCall. Let's take a look at our coaching matchup brought to you by Anaconda Sports, home of the Rock. There's Tim Kloos in his 3rd season as head coach of the Gales, a 1983 graduate of Hofstra University and one of the most successful coaches in the history of this Gales program. And speaking of successful program men, Joe Mihalik is the dean of head coaches at Niagara in the MAAC. And he has been outstanding in his career in MAAC tournament play. He has been now to the MAAC semifinals. This is his 13th time in those 15 years. Here's a look at the Geico keys to the game. Rob?
Well, first of all, for Iona, they've got to make sure that they keep Niagara off the offensive glass. When they lost up in Western New York, Purple Eagles had 20 offensive rebounds in that win, including 3 on the last possession to force overtime. And then much like they did last night, they've got to finish games. That's been a problem all season long. For the Purple Eagles, you got to sprint back, especially on makes, because Iona rushes the ball up the floor faster than maybe any other team in college basketball. And then you got to keep Momo Jones off the line, 2nd best in the country in makes on the entire season, including 14 for 14 in their quarterfinal win against Canisius from the foul line.
Well, Momo Jones, a perfect 14 for 14 in yesterday's quarterfinal victory when he scored 33 points against Canisius. Our officials, Brian O'Connell, Wally Ritecki, Gary Prager, and we are underway on semifinal Sunday here in Springfield, Massachusetts. This Niagara team got off to a 10-1 start in MAAC play this year, and then held on for the regular season championship as the Purple Eagles have taken their place once again among the elite in this conference.
And one of the reasons why they were able to hang on, they got Antoine Mason back in the lineup. He missed 4 games. They went 2-2 in that stretch, and then was not available at the end of the Loyola double overtime game when he twisted his ankle there. Had he stayed healthy, they may have run away with this regular season.
Tavon Sledge with the basketball for the Gales, as the number 4 seed wearing their road maroon uniforms with the gold trim.
You see Niagara show a little 1-3-1. Now they're back up and match up. They want to try and give some different looks to the Gales to try and slow them down.
Armand, coming off a 24-point performance yesterday, has the first 3 here this afternoon.
And he had a huge first half yesterday when he had 17, off to another quick start.
Amin Tanksley thought about it, now brings it back out to Mason. Guarded by Momo Jones, who draws the charge.
And he does that. We saw him a couple of times yesterday step in and take the charge.
A lot is made about Antoine Mason. playing his high school ball in Westchester County up in New Rochelle. But his dad, his famous father, who is here in the building, Anthony Mason, former NBA star, made sure to bring his son back into New York City to play people like Momo Jones in the playgrounds in Rucker Park to make sure he is playing the best competition, the most physical competition. And that has certainly paid dividends. And there is proud Papa, who Antoine calls his best friend. And he certainly is his coaching mentor. He is there every step of the way, Rob.
And he is vocal from the sidelines, not only with Antoine, but the rest of the team trying to get the Purple Eagles fired up.
Taj Ridley. And Wanye Green pulls down the rebound. The sophomore from Archbishop Carroll High School in Philadelphia and first team all-conference guard.
And he didn't play well the other night. Was a little off early on. Didn't come alive till the last 6-7 minutes to that quarterfinal win.
Momo Jones way off the mark. Ridley and Jordan were after it. We have a horn blow. And it looks like we may have a clock issue. The shot clock is stuck on 34. And the one thing about these guards, Rob, you talk about Wanye Green not having a vintage Wanye Green game in terms of scoring and shooting the basketball, but as with Momo Jones, as with Armand and Mason, they can impact the game in a positive way in so many different fashions, and we saw that with Green yesterday.
Yeah, and by the time the game was over, he had 15 points and 6 assists. That's a pretty good day at the office, but he struggled shooting it, just 4 of 14. Only 1 of 2 from beyond the three-point line, so he got a lot of easy shots. And as you said, shot clock was stuck at 34. And the game clock stuck at 18:20, so they'll have to figure out how many seconds ran off.
So they're going to drop it down to 18-14. There it is. Brian O'Connell's got it figured out. There's Tim Cluse giving Taj Ridley instruction. You may have noticed that the Iona coaching staff, Tim Cluse, the head coach, once again wearing their sweatsuits for this ball game. And that again is in an effort to raise awareness for the fight against cystic fibrosis. And they started that on the final Friday of the regular season, and they've not lost since. And Rob, you know how coaches are. You're superstitious.
Now stay with it.
Stay with it.
It's comfortable. It's for a good cause, and it's working.
Yep, so there's the look for Tim Cluse and his staff.
Another Purple Eagles steal. They lead the league over 8 per game, and that was the big reason why they're able to survive in the quarterfinals. They scored 32 points off Siena turnovers. 32 out of their 74 points, so you know where they get a lot of offense.
That's a pretty good formula. Momo Jones stepped down the sideline and turns it over to Niagara. Devin White goes out of the ball game. And we get our first look at TJ Klein.
And turnovers will be a stat to watch all game long. When Niagara lost down at Iona, they turned it over 15 times. When Niagara won, turned it over just 6 times and forced 17 Iona turnovers. A lot of those turnovers late allowed them to make a big comeback. They were down by 15 before they pulled that overtime win out.
David Lowry could not keep his balance. He landed out of bounds, and so the Purple Eagles will keep possession. Now, the game, Rob, that you referenced earlier, they played on January 31st and went to overtime. Out in Western New York, Niagara won it 93-90 in the game as Mason hangs in the air and then tips in his own miss. Iona blew a 7-point lead in the final 54 seconds of regulation.
Oh, it was one of the craziest ends to a basketball game I've seen. Only beaten by that Mount Vernon New Rochelle finish a couple of days ago, about a week ago.
Taj Ridley gets his first 2 points. He had a solid performance yesterday against Canisius, 13-5. Klein has his shot blocked, and here come the Gales. Momo Jones by himself in the front court. Always looking for his backcourt mate, Sean Armand, with the spin off the window for 2.
And look how fast they rush the basketball up, but they don't force quick shots. I mean, they'll run it up your throat if it's there. If not, they get the ball moving so crisply. They pass the ball ahead as good as any team in college basketball.
Marvin Jordan with the basketball. He gives it back to the point guard, Wanye Green, who averages 5 assists per game. His coach says he's probably a better passer than he is a scorer. Tanksler. He took a number of threes in the quarterfinal game yesterday. and was unsuccessful. Misses on his first attempt here today.
Maybe a couple too many. He's better off when he's getting himself into the lane using his length.
Ridley up and over Klein for 2 more. 9-2 Gales.
And Ridley continues to play so well since he got back into the starting lineup 9 games ago, and his energy in the second half was a big key to their win yesterday against Canisius.
And during that stretch you're talking about, Rob, Ridley is averaging nearly 12 points per game, which is 4 better than his overall season average. Klein has it blocked. Tanksley right back to the bucket. And the Purple Eagles draw back within 5.
Oh, he heard me talking about attack the rim. He does just that. Gets a hoop.
Armand misses from Chicopee. He has in the state kind of range, but he misfired on that one. In this game, matching 2 high-flying backcourts, Sean Armand has stepped up his game early. Iona by 5.
What these young bloods have to understand, that this game has always been and will always be about buckets.
Drew, is that you?
I got you, Wes. Just like old times. We'll get over. That's a pocket pass. That's a pocket pass.
Gotta get out there.
Screen.
Put your team back together again.
Get that out of here.
Go find them. This is just the beginning.
The ones who inspire us. The ones who make us laugh. The ones with the strong shoulder to lean on. The ones we're named after. And the ones named after us. It takes all kinds of good to make a family. At New York Life, everything we do is to help you keep good going.
For over 75 years, people have saved money with Geico. Oh, sorry.
Here we go from the top and action.
For over 75 years, people have saved money with Gecko.
Cut it.
What did I say? Gecko. I said Gecko. Oh. For over 75 years...
Keep it together.
I'm good. For over 70... What are you doing there? Stop making me laugh.
Geico, saving people money for over 75 years.
Don't look at me.
The 2013 MAAC basketball tournament is brought to you by Pepsi Max. 0 calories, maximum Pepsi taste. Anaconda Sports, home of the Rock, is proud to sponsor the MAAC. The Jimmy Fund. Text Jimmy to 2212. Welcome back to the Mass Mutual Center in Springfield, Massachusetts. Doug Sherman with Rob Kennedy. And Niagara off to a slow start. But in the Purple Eagles postseason history, they've done very well against Iona. Matter of fact, Joe Mihalik, who is the winningest coach in conference history in the regular season, is 4-1 lifetime against Iona. Tanksley back to Mason. Klein to Jordan on the catch and shoot. And the young man from Peoria, Illinois, makes it 9-7.
And if you're going to go zone, you have to shade to him. Good ball movement. Got him a good look against the 2-3.
Lowry steps in and misses from just inside the three-point line. The bid to tie by Tanksley missed the iron. Quickly back the other way, Sean Armand. Tavon Sledge, who is not a threat to shoot that three-point shot. You could see by the way Mason was defending him or not defending him that they do not expect him to take that shot.
He's a pass-first guy. Hasn't hit a field goal in the last 4 games.
Nice look to Sledge. Quickly back out to Armand, and a better recovery by Wanye Green for the block shot. Lowry keeps the pressure on, though, and the Gales have it back up to a 4-point lead.
And credit Armand for staying with it. Even though he got his shot blocked, he made a good save to keep the possession alive.
Sledge way up there for the rebound. Little Euro step, tries to find Armand, but they can't connect. Wanye Green quickly back to the other end of the floor. Wild shot, no contact. Ridley did a good job defensively, and back the other way. Lowry has the ball go off his fingertips and out of bounds.
But Tim Clues, he'll take that. And a little arc on that pass. You put a little air under it, and now you allow Lowry to track it down. But he likes that aggressive play. You go to their practice, he's got a clock on every possession. He wants the ball up the floor within 5 seconds. He wants you to pass it ahead and just go. And because of that system, they're one of the best scoring teams in the country again this year after leading the country in scoring last year.
I mean, they spend a lot of time on transition offense. Not by chance that they are that efficient at getting out of the break.
And they pass the basketball. Everybody puts it ahead. They lead the league in assists by a wide margin.
Antoine Mason off the glass for 2.
There's the strength to go finish through contact.
21 points in yesterday's win over Siena. And he was the one constant on the offensive end for the Purple Eagles. Armand left his feet thinking shoot. Gave it to Ridley. Ridley's looking for a foul call, but it's Niagara basketball. Looks like Armand should have shot that one, but thought he had a teammate open a little closer to the basket.
I agree. Sometimes it can be a little too unselfish, but again, that's how they play. As we said, they lead the MAAC in assists, nearly 16 per game, nearly 3 better than the next best team, the Purple Eagles.
And it's not like they've got a Scott Machado getting the majority of those assists like the last couple of years. It's much more spread out.
Yeah, good point. Everybody puts it ahead, whether it's Momo Jones, Davon Sledge, whether it's Gomez coming off the bench. Every one of those guards is looking ahead. Well, Mason's got that good upper body strength and uses it to his advantage. He was 10 for 10 from the line as part of that 21-point performance in the quarterfinal. You don't get to the line 10 times unless you're going and searching for contact, much like his dad did in the NBA.
First team all-conference for that stat line, and it's the first time in conference history that a pair of sophomore teammates have both been on the first team with Mason and Green. And you know, this sophomore class for Niagara can easily be compared to the sophomore class of a few years ago that Siena had of Ronald Moore, Alex Franklin, and Edwin Ubilis. They stayed together. And coincidentally, when those guys were freshmen at Siena, they lost the MAAC championship to Joe Mihalik's Niagara Purple Eagles, learned from it, and then won the next 3 titles. And you could certainly make parallels to this group, perhaps having the same kind of run. Terrific look to Bowman, and he is fouled.
And just to put them in the same context of those great Siena teams tells you how talented this sophomore group is. And the guy who gets forgotten at times is Amin Tanksley, who's one heck of a player himself. And all the attention, rightfully so, to the backcourt of Green and Mason, but Tanksley's just as important to this team's success as those 2 guys.
And for the job that Joe Mihalik has done over the years to build one recruiting class after another, they did have a little speed bump there for 2 or 3 years where a couple of recruits didn't work out. Had a bit of a hole in that recruiting balance that they've always had. They seem to be right back on the correct course here. So you bring in a TJ Klein this year to add to that group as a freshman. And on the all-rookie team, certainly deserved consideration for Rookie of the Year, and so you put him with that sophomore class, and you've got a very bright future.
And remember, McCall, the freshman, has started all season, hurt his knee in their quarterfinal win against Siena, so he's not available, but good young talent.
Devin White off the terrific feed from Marvin Jordan.
Yeah, there were 2 of their veterans hooking up on that one. White, the transfer graduate senior, able to score inside. He was scoreless in the quarterfinals, in play, but 4 minutes, had 3 fouls, and was bothered by a knee injury. They're hoping to get something out of him inside today.
An 11-4 Niagara run has tied the ball game at 13-13. Trey Bowman. And the former Penn State Nittany Lion puts Iona back on top.
You see the extended follow-through on that deep 3. In the top 10 in the league in 3-point field goal percentage at 39%.
Mason for 3.
And now here's the pace we thought we'd see a little bit. Both teams not afraid to go find 3s in transition.
Here's Bowman again. if you were listing Iona top to bottom most talented guys, Bowman would be right up there near the top.
And if you go top to bottom, you can make a case certainly that Iona's got the most talented roster in the league.
Off the Ridley miss, it's Jordan with the rebound.
And Jordan's got some good energy and spring to his step here.
He's the most veteran Purple Eagle on the roster, a third-year key performer as a junior. Here is Jordan again. And again, he connects.
And that energy stepping right into that three with no hesitation.
Niagara has the lead at 19-16. Rashawn Gomez eyes the defense.
That was our halftime score in that Fairfield Rider game yesterday, 18-14.
Yeah.
Don't have to worry about that today.
Armand hits the three before hitting the deck. And we're tied again at 19.
And that was a tough three. He had Devin White with his size coming out to challenge that one.
Green over Ridley. Count the basket and one. Timeout on the floor midway through the first half. And these two teams are raining threes. Marvin Jordan and the Purple Eagles trying to defend their #1 seed against Sean Armand and the Gales.
Canisius College is committed to academic and athletic excellence. The Jesuit tradition prepares students for a lifetime of service. From the classroom to hands-on experience, Canisius students are ready to succeed. Canisius College, where leaders are made.
It's knowing that you will always compete against the best, while making you become the best that you can be. It's about joining a family with a storied history, where athletics and academics are held to the highest of standards. It's about creating the future leaders of tomorrow, all with a focus on one goal: graduation. It's the Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference.
What these young bloods have to understand, that this game has always been and will always be about buckets.
Drew, is that you?
I got you, Wes. Just like old times. Oh, get over. That's a pocket pass. That's a pocket pass.
Gotta get out there.
Screen.
Put your team back together again.
Get that out of here.
Go find them. This is just the beginning.
Welcome back to Springfield, Massachusetts. 21-19, Niagara with the 2-point lead over the Iona Gales. The third member of our broadcast team here this afternoon is Ed Cohen, and he a moment ago chatted with Joe Mihalik of Niagara.
Joe, Momo Jones has taken just one shot. What does your group need to be aware of going forward?
That he might take the next 20 shots, and I don't blame Iona for having him do that. He's an outstanding talent. You know, I think he's the most outstanding talent in the league. Great respect for him. So, you know, Momo can get 20 in 5 minutes.
27 bench points yesterday against Siena. Pace is starting to pick up. How important will your bench be going forward today?
Well, we're down a guy. You know, well, we have enough horses in the barn. You know, Tajir McCall got hurt a little bit last night, so he's not going to be in uniform. So, you know, we're going to need something from everybody today.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, guys. The 3-time MAAC Coach of the Year, including this year, is certainly among the most respected coaches around. I mean, when T.J. Klein, whose mother is Nancy Lieberman, the Naismith Basketball Hall of Famer, was investigating Niagara to see if she wanted to send her son from Texas up to Western New York, she called a number of her Hall of Fame friends, and of course her Rolodex is as good as anybody's, and she got one endorsement after another about that guy, Joe Mihalik.
No, certainly he's had nothing but success at Niagara. He's taken the Purple Eagles to 2 NCAA tournaments, a couple of NITs, and he'll be playing in one of those 2 tournaments this year. Remember, regular season champ, if you don't win the tournament to advance to the NCAA, you have already at least locked up an NIT bid.
Niagara's 2 trips to the tournament under Joe Mihalik to the NCAA came in 2005 and again in 2007. And that 07 team is the one I was talking about that beat that terrific Siena group when they were freshmen. Momo Jones with his second field goal attempt of the afternoon. Niagara looking to add to its 3-point lead. A lot of contact along the baseline. And Bowman is called for fouling Mason.
Interestingly enough, when Iona was able to win at home, Momo Jones only had 12 in that first meeting. As we said, a guy that can go off anytime. He's had 4 30-plus games in the last 8, including 33. Even though he was sick, had 102 fever coming into the game. Quite a performance yesterday against Canisius.
Momo has failed to reach double figures only once all season. Jordan misses. Trey Bowman stays in the ball game, playing with 2 fouls now. He's got the basketball. His entry pass not a good one, deflected by Mason, and Lowry was the last to touch. So Bowman now goes out. And Curtis Dennis checks in, a Toledo transfer. He's eligible immediately due to the Rockets' postseason ban by the NCAA, and this is after he spent 3 years at the University of New Mexico for Steve Alford. And that's just kind of the nature of college basketball these days, as guys just are more and more transient, and the NCAA allows more of that these days.
Well, especially seniors, 2 different things. If you graduate and the school you're at doesn't have the graduate program you want, you're eligible immediately. Or as a senior, if the school that you're at is ineligible for the NCAA tournament, you can transfer and be eligible immediately.
There's Momo Jones, who transferred from Arizona and was eligible immediately because he got a waiver from the NCAA for personal matters. Gomez. TJ Klein was the last to touch it, so Iona will keep possession with 8:19 left in the half.
And this is as good a stretch defensively as I've seen from Niagara all season. I mean, they're going up and challenging every shot. Momo Jones, it's hard to find a shot as Nancy Lieberling Klein looks on. A Hall of Famer, one of the greatest players in the history of women's college basketball at ODU. But the Purple Eagles are guarding in the lane.
There's her son doing his thing, but that time Lowry's offense was a little bit better.
He's a good offensive player, really good off the bounce. You and I have seen him rebound, take it up the floor, and play a little point forward. He's at his best when he can put the ball on the floor and attack in the post.
Mason misfires. Dennis does a nice job boxing out Tanksley. I say a nice job because he didn't get whistled for the foul. Under 8 minutes now remaining, and the horn blows because, again, the clock is not running. So we'll have to have an adjustment, and this should take us to our official timeout while they get things figured out here in Springfield. 24-21, Niagara with the upper hand at the moment with a spot in the MAAC championship game on the line.
I'm excited for college, but financially, it's going to be a little hard. I have to apply for scholarships, definitely. Money is kind of a big topic for us for college.
Job placement is really important, especially in today's economy, because I want to work as soon as I can to work off the debt and do, what I want to start doing for a living. I want to have the nice progression from, school to college to...
They don't need the three. Jordan, another chance to tie. 12 seconds. Fourth opportunity. Green gets it back. He'll try. And this time, we are tied with 4 seconds to go. at midcourt. It's Green with 3, with 2 for the win. Wanye Green has done it again. Niagara wins.
That was the game we were talking about, where Joe Mihalik's Purple Eagles won in overtime back on January 31st, 93-90. And Rob Kennedy, you were on the call along with Ed Cohen, and that must have been a lot of fun to be up there that night.
Oh, it was wild. They had a crazy crowd. The end zone was going nuts. And after the game, Joe Mihalik, in a post-game interview, said, I have no idea how we just won that ball game. And how they won is Wanye Green was Wanye Green, knocking down big shot. He was only 2 of 10 from beyond 3 the entire game. But that's the way they've been all year. They've found a will to win. They got a moxie and a toughness. Been able to pull out a number of those games late behind the late game heroics of Wanye Green.
Yeah, and they erased a 7-point deficit in the final 54 seconds to force that overtime. And if we have any of that drama here this afternoon, I won't be complaining. Niagara with a 3-point lead. Iona with the basketball. Lamont Momo Jones hit the front rim. TJ Klein clears the rebound. Long baseball pass. Armand playing defensive back. Interfered nicely. Back the other way. Armand is called for traveling.
And that's the 6th turnover already for Iona. A team that, despite playing at such a high and fast pace, doesn't turn the basketball over a whole lot. Tim Kluse's team averages just 12 per game.
Meanwhile, Momo Jones remains scoreless through nearly 13 minutes. He is 0 for 4 from the floor.
But his last look was his first clean look at the basket without a hand in his face bothering him.
Antoine Mason. Marvin Jordan, TJ Klein to Wanye Green. It's Green for 3, and he continues to struggle from the field. Steal, though, by Green. And he goes right to the rim and left it short.
Now needed to finish with his left. Instead, left it short.
Lowry avoids the contact, does a terrific job to volleyball it back to himself and put it in.
At times he's been a double-double machine. Last game out, double-double, his 8th of the season. No double-double bigger than the last time these two teams met. He went for 24 and 16 boards.
And those 8 double-doubles, Rob, 3rd most in the conference, even though he didn't play the first half of the season. TJ Klein is on the board.
Look how fast the Gales come back. You've got to just sprint back. Good job by Niagara to take away another quick shot.
They played him for the spin move. Lowry lost it. 2-on-1. Mason is fouled by Sledge. MAAC fans, the MAAC is on Facebook. Make sure to like the MAAC today.
You got to love the way Wanye Green struggling, just 1 of 7 from the floor. He knows that. He's got a 2-on-1. He's got Mason with him. That's the unselfish and smart play of your point guard, Green, to drop it off.
Mason missed some time late in the season with an ankle injury and came back from a 4-game hiatus against Northwestern State in the bracket buster game and joined the 1,000-point club. And for a redshirt sophomore to do that, he's putting up points in a hurry. Klein goes out, and White has come back into the Niagara lineup. Double figures already for Mason, just like in yesterday's quarterfinal. He's carrying much of the offensive load early.
You see Niagara switching everything out of the man-to-man.
A foul called against White. Struggled with fouls yesterday. That's his 2nd foul here today. In only 4 minutes yesterday against Siena, he was called for 3 fouls.
And all 3 of his fouls yesterday were fighting for inside position against Odianisiki. At least that time it's challenging the shot. Don't want to waste all those personal fouls inside. Just fighting for position or fouls off the basketball.
And White will go out. He's another postgraduate transfer. He and his head coach, Joe Mihalik, are both LaSalle graduates. And so TJ Klein checks back in. TJ's listed at 6'8", 220. And there he is. Gets the rebound on the second try, and then he passes to Mason. Unfortunately, he's got good aim. Hit him in the shoulder because Mason wasn't looking.
Now, he expected him to throw the ball to Wanye Green to get things going.
Mason from 17.
Oh, that's great movement without the basketball. They get stretched out of the zone, flash into the high post, gets himself a good look.
The nation's third leading scorer is finally on the board.
Yeah, it's hard to keep him down, as Joe Mihalik said a couple of minutes ago. He could go for 20 in the next 5 minutes. Gets a 3 to get himself going.
Tanksley. And that went up on top of the backboard and hit the wire connecting the shot clock to the backboard, so the ball goes back over to Iona.
Again, though, the Purple Eagles able to get the basketball into the high post as Iona stretches the zone defense. A little 1-3-1 that time with Lowry at the point, but as they get spread, you got to go find open spots.
Ridley off a nice feed from Jones.
Yeah, Jones gets into the lane, and anytime he's in the lane, the defense has to step up to take him away. He takes what the defense gives him with a nice feed on the bounce pass inside.
Four minutes to go in the half. Jordan dump it off for Klein.
Good job of probing the defense, getting into the lane and finding the open man. Jordan's doing a good job defensively on Jones as well, a guy not known for his defense.
Bowman misses the wild shot. Mason spins, hangs, doesn't get the roll. Tanksley is hurt at the other end of the floor as play continues. Lowry no. The follow slam by Taj Ridley. And then time is called, so Tanksley can be tended to. Well, there's some of that energy you were talking about earlier they've been getting from Taj Ridley. The senior from the Bronx, since going back into the starting lineup, has been a big boost to the Iona Gales, who are down 1. The 2013 MAAC basketball tournament is brought to you by Pepsi Max. 0 calories, maximum Pepsi taste. Anaconda Sports, home of the Rock, is proud to sponsor the MAAC. The Jimmy Fund. Text Jimmy to 22122 to contribute $5 to the Jimmy Fund today. Geico. See how Geico can save you 15% or more on your car insurance by visiting geico.com today. And by the 2013 MAAC Basketball Championships at the Mass Mutual Center in Springfield, Massachusetts. Visit Massachusetts.com for more information. Let's go. Joe Mihalik's Niagara Purple Eagles, having won 5 of their last 6 games overall, heading into this afternoon's men's semifinal game. A little liquid refreshment for the Philadelphia native, whose roots remain strong in the city of brotherly love. If you look up and down his roster again this year, it's one Philly guy after another, Rob.
Yeah, they've been able to go into the city of Philadelphia and pick out some great players. And not only the guys on this year's roster, the Wanye Greens of the world, the Mean Tanksleys, but you think of Tyrone Green, all those great players that they've had over the years.
Bilal Ben, another one that jumps to mind.
Yeah.
Well, in the cases of Wanye Green and Amin Tanksley, they actually were buddies growing up in Philadelphia. They've known each other since they were small kids and wound up signing together. They knew they wanted to come to the same school, and there is Tanksley knocking down the 3.
And when you go to an area and you have success recruiting guys, and guys turn out to be terrific players and have good careers, that's sometimes your best recruiting.
Boy, David Lowry is putting up some big numbers so far here this afternoon.
Yeah, much like he did last time these two teams met. He nearly has a double-double here in the first half.
Lowry's got 9 points and 9 rebounds, as you see there. Make it 10 and 9. And a 6'8 sophomore from West Orange, New Jersey, pulls Iona back within 1. Mason guarded by Jones. Tanksley shoots over Armand, and he front rimmed it. Taj Ridley around the rim and in.
Well, after the Purple Eagles were doing a good job throughout long stretches of first half of defending the rim, now all of a sudden Iona's got a lot of finishes at the 10.
And it's the two bigs, Lowry and Ridley, both into double figures, while Armand and Jones have combined for only 11. One thing they've not done here today, they did yesterday, neither has gotten to the free throw line, Rob. Mason, nice closeout by Jones, and he still was able to connect. 15 points now for Mason.
They're carrying the load. Green not scoring, just 3 points, so his backcourt mate has to step up and fill in.
There's Lowry and Ridley controlling the boards. Blocking foul. And Mason's got to be careful here, as he is called for the blocking foul. That's the second foul on Mason, and the 5th against Niagara. Gomez back in for Bowman. Gomez has an assist-to-turnover ratio of nearly 4-to-1. So I'd imagine if you're Tim Cluse, you're pretty comfortable going to him on the bench. Momo Jones absorbed the contact, but then missed the shot. Klein got himself in a tough spot, and Iona took it back. Jones for 3.
A broken play turns into the 3. Klein got himself in trouble, but that's where Lemons have to break hard back to the basketball, so it's not a turnover.
The seesaw continues. Iona back on top with under a minute remaining in the first half. Wanye Green puts Niagara back in front.
No, that's more like it for Green. Much like yesterday, he's gone through stretches where he hasn't been aggressive with the basketball, hasn't attacked the rim.
Momo Jones, you can see it on his face. He is just not 100%. Had a fever of 102 a couple of days ago. Played through the discomfort yesterday and was just absolutely exhausted. And is spending all of his spare time with a hooded sweatshirt on and a towel wrapped around his head. Now with 7 to shoot, let's see what Jones can figure out. Momo with 1 to shoot. The step back, and it was blocked by Jordan.
Good defensive possession. You know that Momo's going to try to isolate you off the bounce. Stayed right with it, able to come up with the deflection, forced another turnover with the shot clock violation.
Well, as I said, they've been seesawing. Momo Jones off the turnover put Iona back on top for the moment.
Yeah, neither one of the two stars has really gotten off to a great start, but that time Momo able to find a clean look from beyond the 3. This is a good, strong drive and finish by Wanye Green, getting himself to the rim. We talked about all those great Philly guards that they've had. Looked like Tyrone Lewis on that finish at the rim with his left hand.
Here are the final 4 teams remaining for a chance at the MAAC championship. Fairfield and Manhattan will play in our second semifinal.
One thing's for sure, in the championship game, it's going to be offense versus defense, because you've got the 2 best offensive teams in this semifinal game. And in our next semifinal game, you've got the 2 best defensive teams in the league going at it.
Well, it's not out of the realm of possibility that Iona and Niagara have already scored more points than we'll see in the entire game in our second semi.
Well, certainly last 2 times those 2 teams met, Fairfield as well as Manhattan, it was 34-31 at the end of the game. So you're right. We've seen a lot of scoring here in the first half, just as we expected.
Can Niagara get off a good shot with 3.4 remaining in the first half?
Still enough time.
Wanye Green doesn't get it back from Klein in time, and the foul given smartly by Gomez. Klein held onto it too long.
But that's all right, because now you can still advance the basketball on a dead ball from the sideline. Tried to run the hook and ladder play on that. But now at 2.3 seconds, inbounding the ball from half court. Still plenty of time to get a good look. And despite the 2 fouls, Mason back in the ball game.
And he steps through a double team. Mason's got it. At the buzzer. And lots of contact. Momo Jones laying on his back saying, where was the charging foul? Papa's not happy about that, but he is happy his son's team is up by 1. We'll be back with the MAAC halftime report right after this. We're at halftime in Springfield, Massachusetts, with Niagara enjoying a 1-point lead over Iona. Yesterday in the quarterfinals, Antoine Mason went for 21 points to lead the Purple Eagles. He's got 16 at the half here today, and moments ago he caught up with Ed Cohen.
Antoine, 16 points. You're really mixing it up offensively. What's been the key so far?
Just mix it up. They can't check me, so I just got to play within myself, keep them guessing.
Postseason basketball, your father is here. He was a bruising player for the Knicks, went through some great playoff battles. What has he told you about the mindset you have to have?
Just treat it like it's another game. You don't want to overthink a game and then end up losing and then making excuses of why you didn't play as good as you played. Just treat it as another game.
These two teams are very similar. You both like to get up and down. What's the key in terms of pace in the second half?
Same pace. We just got to rebound.
Good luck.
Thanks.
That's Antoine Mason with his 16 points to lead Niagara at the intermission, 40-39. Back to Springfield, Massachusetts with more of our halftime show right after this.
What these young bloods have to understand, that this game has always been and will always be about buckets.
Drew, is that you?
I got you, Wes. Just like old times. Oh, get over. That's a pocket pass. That's a pocket pass.
Gotta get out there.
Screen.
Put your team back together again.
Get that out of here.
Go find them. This is just the beginning.
I am Sienna.
I am Sienna.
I am Sienna. I am Sienna.
I am Sienna.
Sienna College offers an exceptional private education with a unique foundation of liberal arts, career preparation, and Franciscan values.
Trophy isn't the only thing that makes us champions. Loyola University, Maryland.
The Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference and the Jimmy Fund are partnering up to support the Dana-Farber Cancer Institute at the 2013 MAAC Basketball Championships. The Jimmy Fund raises funds for adult and pediatric cancer and research to improve the chances of survival for cancer patients around the world. To contribute $5 to the Jimmy Fund, text Jimmy to 22122.
Welcome back to the 2013 MAAC Basketball Championships here at the Mass Mutual Center in Springfield, Massachusetts. We are at halftime. And this week we have been celebrating all of the award winners from around the Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference this year, including the first team All-Stars. And from that group, we have our MAAC Player of the Year.
The MAAC Men's Pepsi Max Player of the Year candidates. From Canisius, Billy Barron, a junior guard from East Greenwich, Rhode Island. Barron finished the regular season ranked 5th in the MAAC in scoring with 16.6 points per game and led the league in assists, dishing out 5.1 an outing for the Golden Griffins. Named MAAC Player of the Week on February 10th, he scored double-digit points in 26 out of 30 games in his first season playing for the Griffs. From Canisius, Billy Barron. From Iona, Lamont Jones, a senior guard from Harlem, New York. Jones earned a spot on the All-MAAC first team after finishing the regular season, leading the league in scoring with 23.2 points per game. He netted 45% of his attempts from the field and 87% from the free throw line. A two-time MAAC Player of the Week, Jones has posted double figures in 29 out of 30 games played this season for the Gals. From Iona, Lamont Jones. From Loyola, Dylan Cormier, a junior guard from Baltimore, Maryland. Cormier averaged 16.6 points per game, good for 6th place on the MAAC scoring chart during the regular season. He also finished 2nd in the conference in steals, registering 1.9 takeaways a night for the Greyhounds. Named MAAC Player of the Week on February 18th, Cormier started all 30 games for Loyola and posted double digits in 27 of those games. From Loyola, Dylan Cormier. From Loyola, Eric Etherly, a graduate student forward from Alexandria, Virginia. A repeat selection from last year's All-MAAC first team, Etherly is 8th in the MAAC in scoring with 16.2 points per game and 7th in rebounding with 6.3 boards an outing. He is also 12th in the league in field goal percentage, as well as 5th in both steals and block shots. He's netted double-digit points in 22 contests for the Greyhounds and recorded 2 double-doubles this season. From Loyola, Eric Etherly. From Niagara, Wanye Green, a sophomore guard from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Green is currently 3rd in the MAAC in scoring with 17 points per game. He ranks 2nd in both assists per game and assist-to-turnover ratio, and 3rd in steals. Green connected on 41% of his attempts from the field and 80% of his attempts from the charity stripe. A 2-time MAAC Player of the Week, he netted double-digit points in 25 out of 30 contests for Niagara. From Niagara, Wanye Green. From Niagara, Antoine Mason, a redshirt sophomore guard from Queens, New York. Mason closed out the regular season ranked 10th in free throw percentage, connecting on 77% of his attempts from the charity stripe, and 13th in field goal percentage, netting 44.4% of his shots from the field. He recorded double digits in 25 out of the 26 games played for Niagara this season. From Niagara, Antoine Mason.
And so congratulations to Lamont Momo Jones, joining a list of Iona Gales, Steve Burt, Mindaugas Tominskis, Kashif Hamid, Tariq Kirksey, and last year Scott Machado as MAAC Players of the Year. And congratulations to all of our award winners here in 2013. Take a break and come back with more of our halftime report from Springfield right after this.
Promising not just a degree, but an inspired direction for life's journey. An intimate college with a global alumni network. A residential campus experience, a subway ride from the capital of culture and opportunity, where you can pursue your dreams and change the world. Manhattan College has been delivering on this dream for over 150 years. Go to manhattan.edu and discover what a LaSallian Catholic college education can promise your future. Manhattan College, dreams delivered.
What these young bloods have to understand, that this game has always been and will always be about buckets.
Drew, is that you?
I got you, Wes. Just like old times. Oh, get over. That's a pocket pass. That's a pocket pass.
Gotta get out there.
Screen.
Put your team back together again.
Get that out of here.
Go find them. This is just the beginning.
Welcome back to Springfield, Massachusetts. At the half, Niagara clinging to a 1-point lead over Iona in the first of our 2 men's semifinals. And welcome back, everybody. Inside the Mass Mutual Center, Doug Sherman along with Rob Kennedy. And as advertised from the start, highly entertaining first 20 minutes. Both teams got up and down. The Gales had as much as a 7-point lead, but Niagara's not going away.
No, neither one of these teams is going away because they both score the basketball so easily. And it's not just 1 or 2 guys that can spread the wealth.
few minutes ago, we heard from Antoine Mason. Let's show you some of the damage he did in that first half.
Well, he was really aggressive, whether it was attacking the rim, putting in his own misses, or finding open spots. He found a couple of threes in transition, but also moving without the basketball against the extended zone to find the soft spot. He carried the scoring load in that first half with 16 points. On the other side, well, we talk about the Iona backcourt, rightfully so, but it was their interior guys, their big guys. David Lowry with the double-double in the first 20 minutes of play. He was really active on both the offensive glass and scoring the basketball, and he got good energy and a good lift as well from Taj Ridley. Those two guys combined for 20 of their 39 points, a little extra scoring punch from the big guys inside.
There was the punctuation mark, the follow slam by Ridley. Our first half stats brought to you by New York Life. Rebounding has been a big difference so far because of the two bigs for Iona dominating the glass.
No question about it. They've got 8 offensive rebounds and also held Niagara to just 4 offensive rebounds. The only problem that the Gales had in that first half statistically was turnovers. They had those 8 turnovers, and that's one of the reasons why Niagara's got the 1-point lead.
And Rob, I've got another potential problem for you. Momo Jones only 2 for 8 in that first half with 6 points. We'll take one more break and come back with the start of the second half. One of these teams will move on to the MAAC championship game tomorrow night. Welcome back to the Men's Basketball Championship presented by Pepsi Max. We are at the Mass Mutual Center in Springfield, Massachusetts. Our score 40-39 Niagara, despite David Lowry already with a double-double. And there you see the Purple Eagles with the 1-point lead led by Antoine Mason's 16 points. And earlier in our halftime, David Lowry chatted with our Ed Cohen.
David, so far 10 points, 11 rebounds. What is it about the way these two teams play that favors your style?
We both like to get up and down, and we both are aggressive offensively. It's going to come down to basically who just wants it more.
I'm sure you guys don't forget what happened the last meeting at Niagara in the second half. They come back. What are the keys for Iona to not let that happen again?
We just got to play with toughness. We got to rebound the ball and make sure we find a body to box out. The last game, we lost to them in overtime. We got 4 chances at a 3-point shot in less than 20 seconds. So, I mean, we just got to box out and play tough. That's it.
David, thanks.
Thank you.
Now, Lowry is an interesting figure for the Iona Gales. I mean, he's got such a wealth of talent, Rob, yet he hasn't really played until this year at a high level in terms of competition, nor with any consistency. Take a look at our one-on-one update. Momo Jones still looking to get on track.
Yeah, he hasn't been able to get himself on track. Armand had a decent first half, but the only one of those stars who played like a star was Antoine Mason.
That one-on-one update brought to you by Holiday Inn. And we are underway with half number 2. The winner of this ball game will play for the MAAC championship and the automatic bid to the NCAA tournament tomorrow night. Sean Armand around and out.
And the one thing to keep an eye on, as you said, Momo Jones struggled in that first half. Remember, this is a back-to-back, less than a 24-hour turnaround. Had a ton of energy fighting through that 102-degree fever yesterday to put up 33, but how much energy does he have on the second game, on the back end of the back-to-back?
Mason thought about the screen and roll to White. 8 to shoot. Wanye Green puts it up. White able to save it back out. Mason off the front rim, and again White on the offensive glass, and Niagara extends its possession.
After doing a great job on the defensive backboards in the first half, Iona falls asleep. 2 extra possessions, that trip down, and you get a 3 on the broken play.
Kind of reminiscent of the end of their regular season meeting.
Yeah, the Purple Eagles with just 4 offensive rebounds in that first half, but 2 on that possession, both tips to keep it alive by White.
Lowry to the left-hand no. Taj Ridley once again, and then we've got a foul on the rebound. So Iona says to Niagara, if you can get offensive rebounds at your end, we'll do the same down at the other end, as we have seen between Lowry and Ridley throughout. Tankley's second foul. Lowry, Armand, Jones, Sledge, and Ridley starting 5 again here in the second half for Iona. Green, Mason, White, Jordan, and Tanksley, the starting 5, still the same in the second half for Niagara. Here goes Momo Jones, blocking foul and a chance for 3.
And also his first trip to the line. He is as explosive on that 2-foot jump stop as any guard you're going to see. Talked about it a couple of times. A lot of guys get drilled into the floor. Not only does he elevate, but he slides by as he leaves the floor. So he's jumping into the middle of the lane so he doesn't just crash in instead of a charge. Now he's got an opportunity to finish off the 3-point play.
And he also sends Tanksley to the bench with his 3rd personal foul. TJ Klein back in, and there's a look at Momo Jones, who 2 years ago helped lead Arizona to the Elite 8 of the NCAA tournament before transferring back much closer to home at Iona College.
That's his first made foul shot of the game. Came in with over 200 makes on the season, second best in the country to just Eric Green from Virginia Tech. So they've done a good job with one of their keys, keeping Momo off the line.
White, and a foul called.
Second time we've seen Marvin Jordan with a one-hand bullet pass into the post. Jordan known mostly just as a 3-point specialist, but he's done a good job of playing defense and locking down on Momo Jones and a couple of good feeds inside.
Foul called against Lowry, his first. And much the same way that we have seen as a junior Sean Armand show more than just being a 3-point shooter. We certainly have seen similar type progression in other aspects of the game of Marvin Jordan here this afternoon. White gets 1 out of 2. The redshirt senior from Philadelphia makes it 44-42 Niagara. Armand, open from 21.
Now that's good offense. You get the high ball screen, so you're going to worry about Lowry setting the pick on either the roll or the pop. Jones getting in, and while that action's going, they swing their best 3-point shooter, Armand, out to the 3-point line. That's good execution on a well-designed play.
Klein with a hand in his face for 3.
That's one of the reasons why he's on the all-rookie team. The stretch floor at 35% from beyond the 3.
Jones, much more proactive into the paint here in the second half.
Yeah, a little bit more energy to start things off, and when he's got that energy and gets into the paint, your defense is in trouble.
Tied at 47. Less than 3 minutes into the second half here at the Mass Mutual Center in Springfield. Wanye Green misses the foul line jumper. White knocked it out of bounds, so it'll be Gale's possession.
And body language on Wanye Green, not great. Head down after missing the shot. We see on one side Momo Jones attacking the rim and going, and on the other side you see Wanye Green just a bit tentative, much like he was in the first quarterfinal game.
And Wanye was 4 of 14 from the floor against Siena yesterday. He is 2 for 9 so far here today against Iona. Momo Jones again. Ball kept alive, still bouncing around, and it comes to White. How about the coast-to-coast look? The Purple Eagles retake the lead thanks to Jordan. And here comes Sledge to Ridley. And he was fouled by Green on the way up.
And that is a perfect example of why you see Iona, one of the top scoring teams in the country. You come scored at this end on this nice step through and finish by Marvin Jordan. A lot of times, look, you just kind of jogging back. You start jogging back against these Gales are right back up your back. Here's the ball out, and bang, it is coming like a burst out of a cannon.
Tim Kloos has posted back-to-back 25-win seasons. And he's the second fastest coach in Iona basketball history to reach the 69 win threshold in his first 100 games. He was the equal of your Uncle Pat Kennedy, who had a very nice run at the New Rochelle School. White was open, and they finally identify him. Green picks up the assist.
And Green saw him, but he looked away to kind of maybe shift the defense a bit, and then able to put it inside to White for the easy 2.
And he made the pass to the perfect location, Rob.
Yeah, much like a quarterback, a lot of times to the back shoulder. Same thing right there for Wanye Green.
Away from the defender, making it easy for the big fella. Niagara on top, 51-48. Second foul on Taj Ridley, who stays in the ball game. Green probing on the screen and roll. White wasn't ready for it and lost it off his left hand.
Yeah, White, if he turned and looked for the basketball, he was going to have another shot in the paint.
Well, we've seen on those last 2 possessions, Rob, what Joe Mihalik's been talking about, that Wanye Green is a superior passer. Not just delivering a basketball to a teammate, but putting it in the right spots.
And so when you're playing with a guy like that, you've got to be aware of the basketball all the time. So as White sets the screen and rolls, you got to at least turn over your shoulder to find the basketball.
Fine with an NBA 3. Sledge. There he shot out of the cannon.
Now, that's his first field goal in the last 4 games, but his speed in the open floor makes him really effective in this offense, especially when he can get in space.
5'9" sophomore from Spring Valley, New York, who played his high school ball at Half Hollow Hills West. Pulls Iona back within 1. Mason dumped it off, and the easy layup by Klein.
Well, Mason doing a little Wanye Green imitation, getting into the lane and finding a big guy down low.
Lowry.
Well, there's that unique skill set. You see it all right there in one package. To really handle the basketball, but he's a big, strong body to be able to finish once he gets there. That's a tough matchup for any forward in this league.
Well, among the big-time basketball programs who offered him scholarships, Baylor. I mean, he had opportunities to play with some of the big boys because of that unique skill set. Sledge Splits the defense again. This time missed it. And there's Lowry again, still active on the glass.
Now, much like he was the last time these two teams met, he has been an absolute beast inside the paint.
He had a double-double in the first half. He might match that here in the second half. Iona back on top by 1.
The Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference has provided thrills and excitement to college basketball fans for over 30 years. Now you can get an inside look at the league schools and its student athletes by visiting the MAAC Experience at the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame in Springfield, Massachusetts. Check out the MAAC's rich history and be sure to take in the featured video, A Day in the Life of a MAAC Student Athlete. Don't miss the MAAC Experience at the Basketball Hall of Fame. For more information, visit hoophall.com.
I guess this is it.
You promised to call?
I promise. Hey, Dad. Everything's great. I really like my classes.
There are so many clubs and activities to choose from. I think I'd like to study abroad. I was accepted for an internship in New York City.
Done.
Did you just turn your ringer off so no one would interrupt us?
Oh no, I just used my Geico app to get a tow truck. It's gonna be here in 30 minutes.
Oh, so that means we won't be stuck up here for hours with nothing to do.
I get it. You wanna pass the time, huh?
Fruit Ninja! Emergency roadside assistance. Just a click away with the Geico mobile app.
Back in Springfield, Massachusetts, where Iona has itself a 1-point lead, led by their 6'8 sophomore from West Orange, New Jersey, David Lowry.
As we said, he's got a unique skill set, got a great body, but he can handle the basketball. Tough matchup for any forward in this league. He's got the foot speed to go by a guy like TJ Klein, able to slide by even a guy like Antoine Mason, who's a good athlete, but because of his ability to handle the basketball and then the size to be able to finish in the paint when he gets there, he's off to a monster start, 14-12 so far. Efficient from the floor, 6 of 10.
Lowry has had a long and winding road to get himself to Iona College. He at one point signed a letter of intent with Western Kentucky, wound up at junior college, played for multiple high schools, but finally he would like to think, the coaching staff would like to think, that he's found himself a home in New Rochelle.
And found the style of play that works for him because they take advantage of that unique skill set. When he rebounds the basketball, they let him bring it up the floor. So it does a good job of being able to play to his strengths, especially handling the basketball for a big guy.
Now, had he gone to Baylor, one of the Power 6 conference teams, how do you think he would have done potentially with his skill set and the style that he plays?
Well, because it's unique, he would have eventually gotten an opportunity, but it may have taken a while to get that opportunity.
Off the Ridley block, Armand at the other end for 2.
How about that block by Ridley? Talk about the energy that he's been playing with. And he's one of the keys for this team moving forward. If they want to win 3 games in 3 days, they need that energy from Taj Ridley.
Antoine Mason, running shot in the lane for 2.
And it's so important that guys have the strength to be able to finish when you get there. I always tell guards, it's not good enough to get in the lane. You got to be able to finish a play off.
Momo Jones with the basketball. He's got 5 points here in the second half for a total of 11. High post Ridley, step back 2, and he bangs it in.
And he's a very good 15-foot jump shooter. You got to be able to respect that. He's been so much more aggressive on the offensive end the last month of the season.
One of the quad captains for Iona has 13 points today after scoring 13 yesterday. Wanye Green, nothing but net.
They had a mismatch as Ridley's trying to guard him out on the perimeter. That was a big-time catch by Ridley to come up with that basketball. Most bigs, that would have been a turnover.
Jones, shovel pass Ridley, lost it on the way up. Lowry after it again, but it's Jordan who comes away with it. Here comes Niagara. Klein spotting up. Left it short. Armand a rebound.
And he's been short both games. We saw him leave it short a couple of times. He's got that flat three-point shot. He's got to get it above the rim.
Armand licking his chops with Klein guarding him, but he couldn't hit the three.
Ridley and Mason in a takedown in the post.
Lowry the steal. Here comes Tavon Sledge.
How about that? There's the speed and athleticism of Sledge in the open floor. But how about the delivery by David Lowry?
The officials call timeout. There's some moisture on the floor, and that'll allow us to take our break in our first MAAC semifinal. The former Iowa State Cyclone, like a Cyclone. Sledge makes it 60-57.
Thrilling. Electric. Exciting. Spectacular. Sensational. Scintillating. Stimulating. Exhilarating. Inspiring. Action-packed.
Check out Massachusetts.com for information on the MAAC Basketball Championship from March 7th to the 11th.
The time is now. Let's go.
What these young bloods have to understand, that this game has always been and will always be about buckets.
Drew, is that you?
I got you, Wes. Just like old times. Oh, get over. That's a pocket pass. That's a pocket pass.
Gotta get out there.
Screen.
Put your team back together again.
Get out of here.
Go find them. This is just the beginning.
We are St. Peter's University, a place where students who are eager to learn are taught by people who care, on a campus designed for both to thrive. We're proud to offer incredible learning opportunities and life-changing experiences, and that means our students are prepared to succeed in their fields, in their communities, and all over the world. Get to know St. Peter's University, the Jesuit University of New Jersey.
Exciting. Super. Intense.
Action-packed.
Inspiring.
Sensational.
Electric.
Scintillating.
Stimulating.
Check out Massachusetts.com for information on the MAAC Basketball Championships from March 7th to the 11th.
The time is now. Let's go.
After trailing at halftime by 1, Iona has taken a 3-point lead. Tim Cluse, the head coach of the Gales, standing by with our Ed Cohen.
Coach, you're getting great effort so far from David Lowry and Taj Ridley inside. What's been the difference?
I think we're having a real hard time stopping them in the pick and roll right now, and they're getting a lot of easy open shots. We're giving them too many rhythm shots, and that's a problem for us. Taj and David keeping us in the game. By the way, they're battling right now.
Sean Armand also playing well. He's played well the last 2 games after a tough close to the regular season. What are you seeing from him in terms of his mindset here in Springfield?
I'm just really glad that he's back. We were not the same team without him. Right now, the only reason we're in the game is because we have 4 or 5 guys that are helping. And Sean's a big part of our team, and his confidence is back.
Tim, thanks.
Thank you.
And there is Derek Needham of the Fairfield Stags. And you would think if anybody in the building is tired, it's Derek Needham, because he's already played 2 games and has a 3rd coming up in about an hour.
And a guy who's on the floor a whole lot as well. But you know what? By this time, you're a senior coming into a tournament. I don't think you can get tired.
And that is our matchup upcoming in semifinal number 2. The Manhattan Jaspers just chilling, checking it out. Ramel Brown will be fun to watch. He was the Defensive Player of the Year the last 2 years, and Colin Nickerson, not a bad defender himself. And he's another one of the seniors trying to extend his career and hope that they can make it on to tomorrow night's national stage on ESPN2, the 9 o'clock tip-off for the MAAC Championship. The winner of our upcoming game will take on the winner of this fall game that looks like it's headed down to the wire. Antoine Mason with a strong post. Lowry, a stronger rebound. And here comes Iona again. Jones got some interference on the backside as he went up. Didn't realize there was a defender on his hip. Green, Mason, Tanksley, Jordan, and White, the 5 on the floor for Niagara in their home white uniforms, because they are the number 1 seed here in Springfield this weekend as regular season champions. Thomas, around and out.
Oh, strong post up by Thomas. Guy who's not played much all season long. Looked good on that post up and turn and finished just unable to convert.
The redshirt sophomore from Miami into the ball game, replacing Devin White. Jones hammered by Jordan across the forearm. And so Momo Jones will inbound from the baseline. They say the foul came before the shot. 18 on the shot clock. Down to 6 on the clock. Sledge zigged when Armand thought he was going to zag. Passed it out of bounds. Well, it's still not too late to come out to the 2013 MAAC Basketball Championships here at the Mass Mutual Center in Springfield. The women's championship game starts at noon tomorrow. And then the men's game, as we've talked about, tips off at 9 o'clock tomorrow night. You can purchase tickets for the remaining games by logging on to Ticketmaster.com or at the Mass Mutual Center box office. The 2013 MAAC Basketball Championships. Let's go. Tanksley makes it a one-point game.
You see how important he is. Had to sit with some foul trouble. They're going to need some extra scoring when they're not getting the usual scoring out of Wanye Green.
Lowry working from the high post. He's got an open lane to work with. And the lefty bank shot.
Now, you talked about it yesterday. He loves that spin move. You saw 2 different spins. Gets himself into the lane. And you got to sit on that spin. The problem is he countered by spinning back to finish with his left.
Well, his career high was 24 points that came at Niagara. He's up to 16 here this afternoon against the Purple Eagles.
And again, Wanye Green, head down, shaking his head. He is just out of sorts once again, much like he was in the quarterfinals.
Lowry slips the screen. Green with the block shot of Jones, who now is jogging back up court. Again, not quite 100%. Green the extra pass. Mason off the money, and here comes Momo. Sledge working that baseline as he does. Armand went up, found Lowry, who will shoot 2 free throws.
That's just good play. In the open floor, Sledge always driving along the baseline, and when he does that, Armand spotting up for 3. And here's the spins by David Lowry. Spins to the middle of the floor. You try to sit on it. Spins back. Able to finish with the left. That is a tough move. Like a little Superman pose there. He's played like Superman tonight. Look at those numbers. 16 and 14.
And you know, the way Sledge works on that break, the way he works the baseline, he's not looking to shoot. He is probing, looking for a pass. And it makes me think of Wayne Gretzky in hockey. He stayed behind the net and just looked for an open teammate as they came to him.
And that's one of the things that we've adopted from European basketball. Drive the baseline and throw into that deep corner. Armand is always spotting up. He knows to drag and get down to the line of the basketball. Doesn't force it. And by getting that action, the defense is always on the run, trying to react back out to you, and now you can get by people off the bounce.
And Manhattan does the same thing with Shane Richards, and we'll see that coming up in our next semifinal. Green, little strong. Iona with the basketball up by 5. Jones, up and over Klein.
Now, we talked about it right from the start. One of the better guards in the country in finishing when he gets himself into the paint. That time a little floater. He'll go attack, use his strength. Right now, Iona has stretched it out to a 7-point lead.
Momo is getting that mojo back up to 13 points now. Klein cuts the 7-point lead back down to 5. Timeout Niagara. (66-61) our score. Momo Jones, after a slow first half, picking it up here in half number 2.
The ones who inspire us. The ones who make us laugh. The ones with the strong shoulder to lean on. The ones we're named after. And the ones named after us. It takes all kinds of good to make a family. At New York Life, everything we do is to help you keep good going.
The Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference and the Jimmy Fund are partnering up to support the Dana-Farber Cancer Institute at the 2013 MAAC Basketball Championships. The Jimmy Fund raises funds for adult and pediatric cancer and research to improve the chances of survival for cancer patients around the world. To contribute $5 to the Jimmy Fund, text Jimmy to 22122.
Everyone here at Iona College has a great spirit of enthusiasm as students start to see our facilities and speak to our faculty. They realize this college gives our students a great opportunity to learn more about themselves and go on to fantastic careers in whatever field they choose.
The first thing that strikes you when you arrive at campus is the beautiful buildings and grounds. But above all, Iona focuses on students and student success. And Iona is an institution that changes lives.
Ramel Brown is the two-time reigning Defensive Player of the Year in the MAAC, but he's got some offense in his game as well. In yesterday's quarterfinal game for the Manhattan Jaspers, he was dominant against Loyola to knock the Greyhounds out, so the defending tournament champs are gone, and it's Manhattan surviving and advancing onto the semifinals, and they will take on the Fairfield Stags coming up next here on ESPN3 to ultimately take on the survivor of this first semifinal that has all the appearances of going right down to the wire. Niagara and Iona with 7:34 remaining here in the second half. Iona with a 5-point lead. Tim Cluse's club for a moment matched its largest lead with 7, but Niagara answered right back. It's good to see Momo Jones feeling like maybe he can get through this ball game despite the fever.
And playing with a little bit more energy here in the second half. He's attacking, getting himself into the lane.
You know, he was asked yesterday after the ball game by Ed Cohen that, or actually by yourself, sorry, Rob, whether or not it was a question as Klein picks up the foul. Well, we figured you were going to play your Momo Jones. Of course you're going to play. And say, well, actually, I might not have played. I really don't feel well. Timeout again on the floor. We'll take a break. Iona by 5. Welcome back to the MAAC Basketball Championships presented by Pepsi Max. Iona by 5 over Niagara. Along with Rob Kennedy, I'm Doug Sherman. Be sure to visit the official photo store for the Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference at stocktonphoto.com/MAAC. And there's Niagara, the regular season champion, trying to make it back to the conference tournament championship game tomorrow night. A moment ago, they were down by 7, but cut it back to 5. Niagara playing with a shortened bench today because of the injury suffered yesterday by freshman guard Tajir McCall, not suited up again here today.
And certainly a big factor no matter who you're playing, but when you're playing a team like Iona and the pace that they play, it really changes your rotation. Remember, McCall, their starting guard. See him right there. He went down hard and awkwardly. Hyperextended his knee.
Ridley gets 1 out of 2. He's got 14 points. The Gales have 4 players in double figures. The 2 you would expect, Jones and Armand, but neither of them has gone off. They both got 13 points. Lowry with 18 to lead the way. Green tried to split the double team, but Sledge got a piece of it.
Yeah, good job by Sledge to come from behind to rake it out.
Ridley's pass deflected by Tanksley. 15 to shoot. Sledge puts it up and in.
Well, Sledge, a guy who is not known for his three-point shooting, just his 4th 3 on the season, but that's a big one. Puts Iona right now up by 9, their largest lead of the game.
Sledge with 7. Another charge drawn by Lamont Momo Jones.
And right now, he and Mason are just going at it one-on-one. He's got himself in a little bit of a battle. Those two guys were getting into it physically earlier. And you see, Mason just lowered his shoulder. Good defense by Jones to stay with him. That one certainly could have gone either way.
And Jones is having fun wolfing with Papa Mason sitting in the front row.
And that's where Antoine, though, can't get caught up in it. You know, that was just a force.
He picks up his third personal, does Antoine Mason.
And after getting off to such a good first half, he's been pretty quiet here in the second half.
Another break in the action to check the clock. If you're Momo Jones, as he and Sean Armand discuss where they'll be going to dinner after the ball game, I imagine. You know, whatever it takes to get you pumped up. And I have every confidence that Jones wouldn't go over the top with it. Maybe when you're not feeling well, whatever it takes to get yourself going. And you're listening and you're hearing Anthony Mason, former NBA forward, 10 feet from you, wolfing the entire game. Give it back to him a little bit.
And Momo does a good job of getting you guys' heads.
Yep.
And we've seen it throughout the season. And on the cut through earlier, on that possession right before, he and Mason got tangled up. And we've seen it a couple of times. And then Mason came down the other end, and now it gets him a little riled up, gets him to try to force the play, and you bait him into picking up the charge. Mason with just 2 points here in the first half after 16 in the second.
But here comes Antoine Jr. I should say Antoine Mason. He's got an older brother, Anthony Jr., who played at St. John's. And Antoine Mason will head to the free throw line.
And this is a way to bounce back, get yourself a play off of your defense. Good job to just slip right through, get in that passing lane, dive, come up with the basketball. Opportunity to finish from the line.
Round third foul now on Armand. Similar formulas for these two teams. Terrific backcourts. Iona has the most prolific scoring duo in the country. Niagara has the 7th most prolific backcourt in Wanye Green and Antoine Mason, who gets 1 out of 2 from the line. He's got 19 points to lead all scorers.
And if Niagara's going to get themselves back in the ball game, they've got to do it at this end. They've got to come up with some stops or force some turnovers.
And they did that the last time down. Lowry feels like he's got an advantage on Klein, who stood his ground.
And that's a tough defensive assignment for TJ Klein.
Nice job by Jones to recognize the shooter in the corner. Jordan still put it up.
And that's where you got to put it down, put it to the floor. He comes out. Terrific closeout by Momo Jones, knowing that Jordan's a terrific three-point shooter. But you got to take what the defense gives you. Put it to the floor and penetrate.
Sledge working that baseline again, but this time Klein was ready. Mason. No. Tanksley is headed to the free throw line. Third foul on Taj Ridley. And only the 4th against Iona here in the second half. Neither team in the bonus. Niagara's been called for 6 fouls. And so the southpaw from Philadelphia means Tanksley makes the first.
Both teams have shot it very well from the foul line. Niagara 8 of 10. Iona doing what they do all season long, 9 out of 12. In a close game coming down the stretch, those foul shots are going to be important.
Under 5 minutes remaining. Iona with the basketball and in possession of a 7-point lead. Out of bounds to Niagara.
And Marvin Jordan again, the three-point specialist, showing you he can do more than knock down the three-point shot. Terrific defense, and that's a good call. Clearly, right off of Momo Jones.
Jordan was on the MAAC All-Rookie team a couple of years ago, now a junior. Tanksley just kept going.
Oh, he was a tank when he turned the corner, put his head down. I thought he had Klein in, but instead Looked like Anthony Mason on that play. Turning the corner and finishing with the left hand. So he had Klein on the slip, but stayed with it. He thought he had the speed to go beat Lowry off the bounce, and he was certainly able to do it and finish.
Yeah, one thing that the Iona coaching staff is most concerned about with David Lowry is his defense and his ability to move his feet in a situation like that.
Yeah, he's got to work in the offseason on his body a little bit, get himself in better shape. Remember, he sat out and became eligible at mid-semester, but he wasn't able to practice prior to that. And it really makes it difficult. You know, it was amazing when he stepped in and had the immediate impact that he did. He had 5 straight double-doubles from the middle of January to the beginning of February. For a guy who hadn't practiced, really wasn't in great shape, game shape coming in, but it didn't seem to bother him.
His collegiate debut came on December 20th at LaSalle, a very good Explorers team, and he went for 21 and 14.
Basically to say, hey, I'm here.
Yep. So he wound up getting third team all-conference, even though he didn't play in a game before the week of Christmas.
Well, much like they had to do last night against Canisius, here's where Iona now has to finish off the game. 5-11 on the season in games decided by 5 or less, but one of those 5 wins came less than 24 hours ago against the Golden Griffins.
And their last 6 losses have come by a combined 11 points. 5 to shoot. Jones, mid-range shot, little strong, Klein the rebound. Ridley and Jordan wind up on the floor. Looked like Ridley was calling for a foul. Mason hangs in the air. Lowry rejects it. It goes out of bounds back to the Purple Eagles, who will have it when we come back. Iona clinging to a 5-point lead with a spot in the MAAC championship game, riding on the outcome.
Anaconda Sports, your sports authority, proudly supporting local high school athletes throughout the region. We want to thank all the teams and coaches that have made Anaconda the #1 dealer in the Northeast. Football, baseball, basketball, soccer, whatever your sport, Anaconda has what you're looking for. From the latest gear and team uniforms to logo shirts and hats for your company. Make Anaconda your connection.
Hey, if you want to go for sports equipment, go to Anaconda Sports. It's awesome, baby.
So, if you have a flat tyre, dead battery, need a tow or lock your keys in the car, Geico's emergency roadside assistance is there 24/7. Oh dear, I've got a flat tyre. Yeah, can you find a take where it's a bit more dramatic on that last line, yeah? Yeah, I got it right here.
Someone help me! I have a flat tyre!
Oh, it's good for me. What do you think?
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
What these young bloods have to understand, that this game has always been and will always be about buckets.
Drew, is that you?
I got you, Wes. Just like old times. Oh, get over. That's a pocket pass. That's a pocket pass.
Gotta get out there.
Screen.
Put your team back together again.
Get that out of here.
Go find them. This is just the beginning.
The 2013 MAAC basketball tournament is brought to you by Pepsi Max. 0 calories, maximum Pepsi taste. Anaconda Sports, home of the Rock, is proud to sponsor the MAAC. The Jimmy Fund. Text Jimmy to 22122 to contribute $5 to the Jimmy Fund today. Geico. See how Geico can save you 15% or more on your car insurance by visiting geico.com today. And by the 2013 MAAC Basketball Championships at the Mass Mutual Center in Springfield, Massachusetts. Visit Massachusetts.com for more information. Let's go. And since a Thursday-Friday snowstorm that swept through New England, it's been beautiful here in Springfield since. As we play our first MAAC semifinal, Iona with the basketball, or rather Niagara with the basketball, down by 5. Wanye Green still searching for that range, and again his head goes straight down after the ball went out of bounds.
But how about the confidence from his head coach, Joe Mihalik, coming out of the timeout? Where do they go? They go to their star. Even though Wanye Green has been off throughout the game, they're still trying to play through him late.
Green just 3 of 14 from the field. Ridley called for the personal. That's the 4th on Ridley and the 5th on the team here in the second half. There you see the one-on-one update. Each of our two backcourts combining for 26. Perhaps the difference in the final 320, which one of those backcourts or one of those guards can go off. Jordan trying to say, don't forget about me. Big rebound by Klein.
A couple extra opportunities this possession because of their work on the offensive glass.
Now 3 minutes on the clock. Green around Ridley with those fouls, and smartly he goes right to the bucket.
He recognized he had the mismatch and able to beat him to the left.
And it's back to a one-possession ball game, 70-67 Iona.
And here's where all those close losses got to be in the back of the mind, not only of Iona, but also Niagara.
Here goes Lowry on Klein, who is called for the foul. On TJ Klein, that is his 2nd and the 7th on the team. Lowry now heading to the free throw line after getting shoved from his teammate Momo Jones, saying, get out there. Look at those numbers, 18 points, 16 rebounds. And he's a guy who will not take a three-pointer, not going to throw down a big monster dunk. He just does his thing.
Yep, with a unique skill set, but a skill set that's right now got him 20 and 16. Pretty good day at the office.
That'll work. The lead back to 5. Green trying to get by Sledge, who had the arm bar out and then finally got called for it. That's just the 6th team foul against the Gales, an on-shooting foul. Number 2 on Sledge.
Comes another high ball screen for Wanye Green to see what he can make happen.
Tanksley. Lowry rips it away from Ridley, and the two of them have been beasts on the glass for the Gales today.
Yeah, good look for Tanksley. Better defensive rebound by Lowry.
Timeout Iona with the shot clock at 15.
Now Tim Cluse wants to make sure he dictates where this shot comes from.
Now let's take a look at our Pepsi Max slam of the game, and it came from the first half off of a missed basket, Rob.
Now this is what you call a nice offensive rebound and putback. The energy that Taj has really brought the entire game, set the tone inside. And he and David Lowry, their front court guys, have been the stars here tonight for a team that usually turns to their backcourt, Momo Jones and Sean Armand, to carry their scoring load, but the interior guys today have been the real difference.
Well, Rob, the Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference is a proud supporter of the Jimmy Fund. You can contribute $5 to the Jimmy Fund by texting Jimmy to 22122. Message and data rates may apply.
It'll be interesting to see, because of the fact that their interior guys have played so well, whether or not Tim Cluse out of this timeout puts the basketball back in his guard's hands, or whether or not he mixes it up and tries to throw the basketball inside to David Lowry, who as well, even if you foul him, has been good from the foul line here today, 6 of 7 from the line.
Lowry gets it into Ridley, who mishandled, and the Purple Eagles come up with the turnover. Jordan launches the three. Klein tips, but it's Jones who comes down with the basketball.
You love the fact that the guard gets himself in there. You got to come up and make a play late in the game, whether it's scoring or coming up with a big defensive rebound like he just did. That was a good shot by Jordan, even though it was a quick three. That was a good look from one of your better three-point shooters.
Now it looks like Lowry's planning on going one-on-one late in the shot clock, and Klein is the defender.
And he may need some help off the bounce.
Now they go to Armand with the ball screen. Deep three. It's an air ball, and it landed on the baseline out of bounds back to the Purple Eagles.
And that's not how the Iona Gales play. You know, they're a team that wants to go, go, go. Everybody's standing around. I'm not so sure that that's the best look that they can get. And if you're going to isolate David Lowry, then he's got to go make a play. Can't give it up there.
Green, tough shot. Momo Jones gets up with Tanksley and gets possession.
And both teams with bad shots each of the last two possessions. Green tried to just make the play himself. He had Antoine Mason open on the left side. Should have put the basketball there.
Malcolm Lemons, you see, come into the game. Trey Bowman in, replacing Sledge. Shot clock is off, and so now down 5. Niagara will have to change its defensive strategy.
They get Sledge out because he's just a 57% foul shooter.
Jordan called for the foul before the inbound, trying to deny Momo Jones the pass.
Yeah, try to deny him, but you can't foul him because Momo Jones, one of the best foul shooters, not only in the MAAC, but in the country.
That's the 8th foul against the Purple Eagles. Sledge back in, Bowman out.
And it was missed foul shots late. You see 88%, that's the guy you want on the foul line, but it was missed foul shots late in the game that kept the door open, and that dramatic 93-90 win in overtime up at Niagara. So the Gales going to have to march to the line and seal the deal, finish it off. I think if you're Tim Cluse, you'll take your chances anytime with that guy at the line, with the game on the line.
The 6-foot senior from Harlem, New York, glances up at the rim. 74-67. This matches the largest lead of the afternoon. Jones called for the foul.
And that is not a smart play. Last thing you want to do right there, even though you're taking a gamble, is foul. There's no need at that point in time. All you got to do is play solid. No need to come up with the steal.
Maybe we've seen a couple of the reasons why they've lost a number of these close games. A foul like that one, a bad possession where Lowry didn't seem to do the right thing.
Well, you're right. And when you talk to Tim Cluse, he said, I asked, hey, is it something that's in your players' heads? He said, I don't think so, because we've lost it every way imaginable. We've missed foul shots. We've turned the basketball over. One time, Momo went and gambled for a steal. Somebody hit a three. So they've done it a lot of different ways. Sometimes it just comes down to playing solid and making winning plays. And unfortunately, the Gales haven't done that for stretches of the season.
And there's Momo Jones getting fouled, and we'll head back to the line. Well, let's flash back again to the last time these two teams met, a regular season thriller out in Western New York.
And it was a crazy sequence late, the turnover. Green put it up. They didn't need the three here. You see there's 20 seconds left, but they were going to try and tie this thing up come hell or high water. And good job on the offensive boards. I mean, effort after effort. And finally, you had the sense, ball fake got the one defender by him. You had the sense when that fourth one went up that it was going in.
That foul was on Tanksley. Of course, Niagara would go on to win that ball game in overtime. 93-90 was the final that night.
And now down 7, you really got to start thinking about knocking down a 3 here. If you can get a quick 2, you'll take it. But you're probably going to need a 3 to make up this difference.
Tanksley could have taken the 3. Steps in and knocks down the 2.
Now cuts it to 5, so you're still alive. You're starting to run out of time. 2 at a time may not be enough time. They need to start getting 3 at a time. They got to come up with a steal or a turnover here in that full court pressure. You saw at the start of that highlight, it was a steal by Wanye Green that got that wild sequence started. We've said a couple of times, the Purple Eagles, best team in the conference, 8 steals per game. No better time to come up with one than now.
These Iona Gales are the 7-time tournament champions in the Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference. They won it all in 82, 84, 85, 98, 2000, 01, and 06. And they are 17 seconds away from getting back to the finals against the winner of our next semifinal. That'll pit the Stags against the Jaspers coming up on ESPN 3. Lowry still looking. And a foul called against Niagara before the inbound. Malcolm Lemons. Joe Mihalik not pleased with that call. Momo Jones trying to let them know that he's going to shoot a 1-and-1. And now Gary Prager is going to head over to the officials table, make sure they've got the right guy at the free throw line based on the foul that was called against Malcolm Lemons. Whether it was Momo or not, you got to give him credit for heading right to the line.
I was just going to say 88%. He wants to finish this thing off.
Jones is a perfect 5 for 5 all here in the second half. Up to 17 points. Now it looks like it's Taj Ridley who's the one who should be heading to the line, because clearly Malcolm Lemons was draped all around his midsection. So Ridley's not a bad option, 75% on the year. And assuming the officials saw what we just saw, it'll be number 0 heading to the line.
And they don't have a lot of bad options. 77% on the season from the line. Best in the MAAC, one of the top 10 foul shooting teams in the country, which again, one of the reasons why it's so strange that they've missed. I mean, that they've not been able to close out and finish so many of those close games.
Tim Cluess and the staff wearing their sweatsuits here again this afternoon to raise awareness for cystic fibrosis research. And now Taj Ridley will shoot 2. Iona in the double bonus. Ridley's had a very productive afternoon. Both he and David Lowry have controlled the paint from the start for the Gales.
And this is a big one. Stretch it out to a 3-possession game.
Sledge in, Ridley out.
Offensive defensive substitution. Sledge with his quickness tried to bother and force Niagara to take some time off the clock.
Wanye Green going to take it right to the basket and lay it in. Timeout Niagara. What is Joe Mihalik whispering into the ear of Wally Ritecki right there? Reminding him of something, trying to look for something. What do you imagine there, Coach?
Well, I'll tell you what, probably saying, hey, we're not going to foul on this inbound. We're going to come up with a steal, so don't call and foul on us, Greg.
Well, Derek Needham, the star senior, second team all-conference for the Fairfield Stags, already had a terrific MAAC tournament, looking to extend it coming up.
Yeah, 24 in their first-round win against St. Peter's and 19 points in a real low-scoring game, as he made a couple of big plays down the stretch, including that acrobatic finish at the other side of the rim and key foul shots, enabling them to survive against Ryder and advance not once but twice. And so now they're into the semifinals, taking on Ramel Brown and the Jaspers.
And Needham still got that dream alive, Rob. As a senior, he has been very, very close to making it to the NCAA tournament, but has not gotten there. And he's 2 wins away from getting there, but Ramel Brown and the Jaspers are standing in their way.
Yeah, they've been to the championship game twice, but came up empty both times. And the one time they didn't get to the championship game is the year that everybody thought they were going to win it all. They were the #1 seed. The tournament was in Bridgeport. They get upset in the semifinals by John Dunn's St. Peter's team that went on to capture the championship by beating the Iona Gales.
Momo Jones waiting for a call that didn't come. Now with under 5 seconds to go, Green commits the foul, and Bowman, who is better than 90% on the year, will head to the free throw line.
And Momo Jones a little slow to come up, and the Iona Gales faithful finally start to exhale, figuring they've got this one in the bag.
Well, Niagara is the #1 seed this year, but down 5 with Iona at the line. It's a 6-point lead with 3.2 on the clock. Mason at the horn. And Iona knocks off the regular season champs from Niagara.
Now, Tim Cluse's team, they may have let a couple of wins slip away during the regular season, but all's forgotten if you can win 3 in a row up here in Springfield. 2 down, 1 to go for the Gales.
Sean Armand, one of 4 Gales to get into double figures in this ball game this afternoon. And it was not really the Jones-Armand show. It was the 2 big guys inside, Ridley and Lowry, who made the biggest difference.
No question. The energy from Ridley early on. He ended up with 16 points in a monster game from David Lowry. A big-time double-double, nearly 20-20, 20 points, 17 rebounds, and a terrific all-around performance for the Gales.
So Iona has punched its ticket in tomorrow night's 9 o'clock MAAC championship game. That'll be seen on ESPN2, and they will get either Fairfield or Manhattan, the winner of our next semifinal. Let's take a break and come back with our post-game report from the Mass Mutual Center in Springfield, Mass. Iona survives and advances.
Jim is 38, mortgage, married, 3 great kids. He wants to protect his family with a $500,000 term life insurance policy. What do you think it'll cost him? $100 a month? 60? 40? Actually, none of the above. Jim can get a $500,000 policy from a highly rated insurer for under $19 a month. His secret? SelectQuote. SelectQuote is impartial. They'll comparison shop the pick of insurance companies like these to give you a choice of your best prices. SelectQuote has great savings on term life for women, too. Jim's wife, Deidre, can get a $500,000 policy for under $16 a month. SelectQuote has helped make term life insurance affordable for hundreds of thousands of people since 1985. How about you? Just call this number or go to SelectQuote.com. SelectQuote. We shop. You save.
Iona 79, Niagara 73. The Gales knock off the #1 seeded Purple Eagles. We send it over to Ed Cohen, standing by with the winning coach.
All right, Doug, a lot of close games this year for Iona. A lot of tough losses, Tim Cluse. What in the end was the difference in closing out this one today?
I think our kids had kept their head. We made our foul shots. We executed the plays, and I thought we defended at the end of the game better. Dave was a monster rebounding the ball.
What is it about David Lowry and why he thrives against Niagara?
You know, every time we play Niagara, I bet David dinner on how many rebounds he can get, and I think that gets him a little motivated.
So he won the bet here.
He won the bet tonight, absolutely.
Momo Jones, we mentioned his fever yesterday, looked a little bit better today, but what can you say about how he did some other things to help this team?
He really did. You know what? We put him on Mason at one point, and he really got a charge on him, slowed him down because Mason was really hurting us. So we did a very good there, made a couple of really nice passes, kind of came a little bit more under control in the second half, that didn't force the issue as much, and let other guys do what they can do. It's a great job by him.
It's funny how this bracket worked out. You face Canisius, then Iona. Next game in the championship against Fairfield or Manhattan. teams that are going to try and slow you down. What's the adjustment you have to be ready for?
You know what? Right now, we're going to just enjoy this. We're going to look at our film. It's going to be a completely different game. It's going to be more of a grinded-out game. But we have to just play smart and execute and be good with the basketball, and we'll have an opportunity.
Congratulations.
Thanks very much. Appreciate it.
Tim Cluse, the head coach of the Gales, and his team was led by David Lowry here today. Another double-double against Niagara. What was the key inside and setting the tone for Iona?
The same things I said in the first half, just playing with toughness and being aggressive and hitting the boards. And we played together today. I just think we need to make some smarter plays.
Momo Jones, we mentioned that he's been suffering with the fever as of late. How as a group have you said we have to pick Momo up here at the MAAC tournament?
I mean, everybody knows they have to pick Momo up because him and Sean have been carrying his team since day one. And if he's down, we have to pick him up. But I mean, Momo, even though he's sick with the fever, that guy's a competitor. He's going to come to play and he's going to score, and that's what he's going to do. And I just felt like I had to pick him up today.
Congratulations.
Thanks a lot.
All right, that's David Lowry, our Pepsi Max player of the game, as Iona knocks off Niagara 79-73 in our first men's semifinal. Coming up next, Fairfield and Manhattan, the Stags and Jaspers have gotten themselves out onto the floor and are warming up for our nightcap. Once again, our final score in semi number one, Iona 79, Niagara 73. Join us for our next MAAC basketball championship game broadcast on ESPN3. Our coverage continues with the second men's semi with Manhattan taking on Fairfield. For Ron Kennedy, Ed Cohen, and our entire crew, I'm Doug Sherman saying so long from Springfield, Massachusetts. The proceeding has been a presentation of the Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference.